So as a practice, we don't see any boundary between landscape architecture and artwork. It's thinking holistically, but also thinking about nature throughout the projects. 3 different levels in a way. One is nature as symbols, so we create stories that are very nature-based, mountain, trees, or wind. And secondly, we use nature, the actual elements from nature, like wind and sun and rain, to animate the architecture. And then I think finally, which is what directly relates to chalet structure, is biomimicry, which is learning from the 500 million years of evolution and form, and how form contributes directly to strength. In 2014, we organized an exhibition on the basis of the RIBA research grant. Connected to that were 2 talks. And in the second talk, there was a lady, a medical researcher, who piped up at the end and said, can you see this in a human body? And I think Mike said, yeah, why not?
And in a way, that sort of led us down a new evolutionary path where, having been asked, could we do we were trying to do things really big. We wanted to do an airport, and we ended up doing something really small. A stent is something that goes inside a tube, and in a body those are called lumens, so it goes inside a lumen and it pushes outwards. And the problem with most stents is that the stents for the trachea at the moment don't really push outwards, they just resist inward pressure. So what we wanted to do was invent something that was self-expanding. The trachea is next to the esophagus, and when you swallow, it needs to give slightly. So it was important that it was not an O, but a C shape.
And in a way, that is the site when we really looked at the trachea, because no matter how many drawings you look at of the trachea, you don't understand that it's right next to all these other organs,
yeah.
and it's a series of cartilages, not unlike this, but then on the open side, the C side, the open side to the C, is actually a very soft tissue to allow the esophagus to push against it. So, architecture is a kind of empirical thing that when you understand the site really intimately and closely, you begin to understand it, what to do with it.
The first models we made were very crude, and we were just trying to explore how to make something reverse and have an outward push. One day, coming into the house, there was a lily on the front doorstep, and we thought, well, let's have a little look at the lily. So we took the lily apart, cut it up and pinned it down. And when we pinned it down, it just wanted to come back. And that kind of reaction of wanting to come back made us think, well, what if we twisted it even further than it would want to come back?
Where all the 15 chalet structures, from bridges to pavilions to towers, are all tailor structures. Chalet's stent isn't tailor. It's learning from the geometry from nature to give us strength and this ability to then push out due to its inversion and wanting to unfurl.
And these pieces at the end, they stop it moving up and down inside the trachea. So in a way, the geometry in this case is also about strength, but it's also about the job it has to perform inside the site of the body. So it's interesting how you enter into a different world, and actually for us it's a great journey as architects to kind of have a kind of parallel relationship with different professionals. And because architecture can expand and become a kind of broader remit. So although we really like going beyond architecture, we like the idea that actually the architects can think beyond architecture themselves and become more useful to society maybe.